Vegas bankruptcy attorney Dorothy Bunce, here to explain to you today why it can be a big mistake to hire a cheap attorney. When you're coping with the stress of a bankruptcy, hiring a cheap attorney may seem like an attractive option. After all, saving a little money is the least you can do, right? Wrong! Hiring a cheap bankruptcy attorney can cost you much more in the long run and create more pain and headaches than solutions. Here's why. Number one, a cheap attorney may have a factory practice that won't offer you personal services that you need. If the attorney has a factory practice, the office may seem like the DMV or unemployment office, a place that offers little or no personal attention. Worse yet, at the factory, you won't receive the legal advice you need. A factory attorney's one-size-fits-all approach will leave you making decisions about your case in the dark, and that can cost you money. If, for example, you have a larger income, a factory may steer you into filing a more expensive Chapter 13 that you don't need and cost you more than you thought. A factory attorney can prevent you from getting the full benefits of filing bankruptcy, costing you a lot more than hiring an attorney who offers a service tailored to your unique need. Hiring an attorney isn't like buying a box of Tide. It isn't easy to compare prices because no two boxes are exactly the same. It's more like going to have your taxes prepared. That cheap guy who opens up in the vacant strip mall in January may prepare your tax return for cheap. But when the IRS contacts you about a mistake and says they're going after you, where is he? You might pay more to hire an accountant, but you have the peace of mind of knowing that your tax return is properly prepared. And the truth of the matter is the refund your accountant gets you is probably much larger than that fly-by-night preparer who has no qualifications but the slimy smile on his face. Is a factory attorney going to tell you he's not the right choice for you, or that bankruptcy is not the right choice or your only choice? Self-interest has to kick in to pay even a cheap attorney's bills and overhead costs. The cheap attorney will gladly take your money while you take a number and wait in line for the factory treatment. Don't you deserve better than that? If there are other choices available besides bankruptcy, will the cheap attorney tell you about them? If that advice won't result in a legal fee, don't count on it. If you pay more for an expensive attorney, you'll be much more likely to get objective advice that is in your best interest and not in the best interest of the attorney's bottom line. And speaking of the bottom line, if the attorney tells you what to do and doesn't let you see for yourself why bankruptcy is in your best interest, their bottom line may be their only interest. Don't fall for it. Second, a cheap attorney could have little or no experience in bankruptcy, and that can cost you time and money. Since an attorney with little or no bankruptcy experience needs to practice on someone, the fee is cheap, you won't expect too much, and you won't be complaining if something goes wrong. But who pays when there are mistakes? Well, you do. A mistake can result in the bankruptcy trustee seizing your bank account, tax refund, or other property that you and your family own. You may have to go back to court because of your attorney's mistake. In some instances, bad advice has resulted in a client being charged with a criminal offense. Following bad legal advice is not a defense to any criminal charge. Remember the old saying, ignorance of the law is no excuse. 3. The cheap attorney's fee covers only limited services. When you get quoted a cheap fee, it may not include all that you think it will. Be sure to ask what it includes and what it doesn't include. Is the cheap attorney's fee only available if you have fewer than 10 or even 5 creditors? Does the cheap fee include getting legal advice and answers to your questions from the lawyer? Paralegals are not qualified to give you legal advice. Even the most inexperienced attorney charges at least $200 an hour for a real consultation. A free consultation is only a available to determine at the first meeting if you're eligible to file for bankruptcy. A free consultation usually does not provide you with legal advice or any answers to your questions about bankruptcy. And of course, you don't continue to get free consultations once you've hired an attorney. Number 4, after your case has gone to court, will the chief attorney help you? Once your court appearance is over, legal paperwork can continue to come in. Will your chief attorney be there for you to explain what the papers mean? Will he be there to give you advice and guide you through complex court procedures? Will the chief attorney help to repair or restore your credit? What if someone listed in your bankruptcy sues you years after you filed for bankruptcy? Will the chief attorney still be there for you? Hiring an attorney isn't like buying a box of Tide, where one box is just exactly the same as the next. Every attorney offers different services in their packages, and the quality of the results you receive depends on the quality of work the attorney provides. You can get a cheap frozen pizza. Do you want a flavorless piece of cardboard, or would you prefer a richer dining experience? If you need to file bankruptcy, and you're unfamiliar with the legal process, you're probably wondering how to tell if a lawyer is right for you. Here are a few common signs that mark a professional, trustworthy, and dependable lawyer. First, your legal consultation is with the attorney and lasts a minimum of 45 minutes. Not so for the free consultation. Second, the paralegal's job is to organize documents and to get missing documents and information from you. The paralegal should not tell you what to do or give you legal advice. Third, when your bankruptcy is being prepared, you'll receive copies of all documents prepared in your case for you to review. The attorney will point out problems and offer you suggestions to solve the problems. Fourth, the attorney provides written materials to explain bankruptcy and answer your most common questions. Fifth, the fee includes pre-bankruptcy credit counseling. Sixth, the attorney's office obtains your credit report. While you will need to provide the names and addresses for creditors that don't show up on your credit report, you shouldn't have to spend hours and hours listing your credit card debts. 7. Your attorney has allocated some time for you to ask additional questions. The paralegal should only answer questions about administering your case and should not be answering your legal questions. If the paralegal steps outside of this boundary, this is a strong indication that there's something wrong with the way the legal practice is conducted. 8. The attorney will take extra steps necessary to stop a wage garnishment or a foreclosure sale. 9. The attorney you meet with during your consultation actually represents you at the meeting at the bankruptcy courthouse. Many lawyers use an appearance attorney to represent their clients. Well, will you feel confident being represented by someone you've never met? 10. The attorney gives you an honest assessment of whether you need additional services, such as filing with a spouse, creating an emergency filing, or eliminating liens, and is upfront about any additional charges. When you hire a cheap lawyer, it's only cheap in the short run. Hire a dedicated and experienced attorney who understands your unique needs and is sympathetic to your situation. I'm Las Vegas bankruptcy attorney Dorothy Bunce, telling you today why it's a big mistake to try and hire an attorney that's cheap.